I'm Chrissy, and today we will talk about the past tenses in German and more precisely about the tense called perfect. Okay, let's see first what type of past tenses there are. We have two main tenses for expressing past actions that have different use. So the first one, this is perfect. And as you see here, it is used mainly in the spoken language and also for writing short emails, SMS, and so on. While the other past tense, Präteritum, is mainly used in the written language. For example, when you're writing a book or an article, newspaper, scientific work, then you will use Präteritum. Okay, so as you see, the difference from of the perfect and preteritum tenses, it doesn't come from the fact when the action happens, just like in English, but you choose which past tense to use in German depending on the situation. Okay, here are some examples. If you're telling a friend what you did yesterday, you will use perfect. If you're writing a letter, an SMS, an email for past actions, you will use again perfect. But if you're writing an article for the newspaper, for the magazine, a book, then you will definitely use Präteritum. So what is the conclusion here? In day-to-day communication, you will rarely hear Präteritum. It is only important to understand, of course, newspapers and books when you're reading. That's why we will start with perfect. Perfect you build with two main auxiliary verbs, haben and sein. Most verbs form perfect with haben, but there are two main groups that build it with sein. We will talk about that in the next video. Now let's see two examples of perfect. Ich habe gestern bis 17 Uhr gekocht. You see haben, second place, conjugated, and at the very end we have the participe perfect or so-called participe 2. That's the past participle of the main verb. And this structure is called in German Satzklammer. Why? Because these two verbs in the sentence are so-called body of the sentence or the structure. These positions are fixed. Another example with sein. Ich bin gestern nach Berlin gefahren. You see here, instead of haben, we have sein on second place, conjugated. And at the end, we have again the past participle of the main verb. So, as you can imagine, what do you need to know in order to build correctly perfect? You need the conjugation of haben and sein. I've put them here. And you need to know how to build the participe perfect or past participle. In German, we have two main groups of verbs, regular and irregular verbs. Regular verbs, these are, for example, machen, arbeiten, kochen, spielen. Irregular, you can check them in the table, in the list with irregular verbs. For example, lesen, schlafen, schreiben, and so on. First, let's see the regular verbs. So these are, for example, machen. And here, in order to build this past participle, you need to get rid of the ending en. You put ge in front and te at the end. Gemacht. Kochen, gekocht. Arbeiten is another small group of verbs. The main part of the verb here, when you get rid of en, you have arbeit. It ends on t, and we can't say gearbeitet, right? So that's why we put another e. And we have gearbeitet. Reden. Same thing happens with verbs that end on d. Reden, geredet. Another small group of verbs are verbs with that end on ieren. For example, telefonieren. Here we don't have ge, only te at the end. Telefoniert. Or fotografieren. Fotografiert. The irregular verbs here, it's pretty simple. You have to check the list with the irregular verbs. You can find it online. For example, lesen, gelesen, schlafen, geschlafen, schreiben, geschrieben. My advice here is, if you're not sure if the verb is regular or not, please check first in the list. If it's not there, then it should be a regular verb. This is the list of the irregular verbs. As you see here, first column, that's the infinitive. Second column, that's the other past tense that we will talk about in another video. And what we need now is the last column, Partizip 2. What happens here with the verbs with separable prefixes? For example, we saw machen, gemacht, and aufmachen. Auf is separable. We have aufgemacht. Same thing as you see, same past participle, just we put the prefix in front. Kaufen, gekauft. Einkaufen, eingekauft. Very simple. With the irregular verbs, that's the same logic. Sprechen, past participle is gesprochen. Aussprechen, ausgesprochen. Sehen, gesehen. Fernsehen, ferngesehen. Rufen, gerufen. Anrufen, angerufen. Okay, I hope this video was useful for you. If so, please like it, share it, and comment if you have any questions, or just ask me. These are my contact details. We will continue next time to finish up with Perfekt with Sein. Thank you.